Let's bring in Novo Nordisk Chief Scientific Officer Martin Holst Lange on this. Martin, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I just want to bring you a comment from a shareholder of Novo Nordisk, of Global Health Invest. Novo Nordisk's opportunity to make a comeback in the fight against Lilly, this was it. This obviously weakens them in a fight. What would be your message to those who believe the same thing, who have looked at this study and said, now this means Novo is falling even further behind Eli Lilly?
I would answer, it's been a few years since we designed the Redefine program, the program to show the weight loss potential of CagriSema. We already last year learned that to really see the true weight loss potential of CagriSema, it is a very powerful combination of two molecules. We need to have what we call a bespoke titration algorithms to really allow patients to titrate the very powerful treatment in the way that they prefer. We could see from the first study that that could be further optimized. In this setting, we could not manage to implement those learnings in what we call Redefine 4, which is the study that we discussed today. So the jury is still out of what can CagriSema actually achieve. In the study that read out today, we saw a 23% weight loss with CagriSema. That is actually very substantial. And it is among the best weight losses that we've seen, also amongst drugs in the market.
Right. Of course, just sort of the sore point in that, if I can jump in, Martin, is just the comparison to Lilly. It will forever be there. So what is the plan then to catch up with them?
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, the 23% weight loss that we saw with CagriSema is in line with what we've previously seen. The 25%, which we saw with the comparator drug, is actually the best data that has been seen so far in similar trials, which is a little bit surprising, but it stands alone in terms of that 25%. But we've also taken a lot of learnings in terms of how we can improve the titration for CagriSema. We've implemented those learnings in a study that's currently ongoing. That study is called Redefine 11. And we've guided for the last year that only when we see those data do we know the full weight loss potential of CagriSema. Furthermore, we are initiating during this year phase 3 studies to investigate even higher doses of CagriSema. And then obviously we have our very competitive pipeline, starting with semaglutide that starts phase 3 this year, but also our two triagonists that is currently in phases 1 and 2. So I think from a short but also a longer term perspective, we have a very competitive portfolio and pipeline.
Martin, on that pipeline, you seem confident on it. Would you like to see that bolstered by some M&A, by bringing in organic growth to the pipeline too?
The way we think about this is that obesity is a very complex disease, and obviously we want to have drugs that provide the biggest weight loss, but we also want to have drugs that gives as few side effects as possible. Then we also want to have drugs that provide comorbidities, and to an extent in our current portfolio we have all of that. We also have the best-in-class oral already on the market in the US, and the semaglutide offering that is starting phase 3 will have both a subcutaneous and an oral offering with what we believe will
Martin,
be best-in-class.
Why within that did you not follow Lilly with the tirzepatide and develop a GLP-1 GIP? Why not go down that route when so many other companies did?
We need to follow our philosophy when we do development. We also want to we always want to see differentiated weight loss potential or efficacy potential, but also differentiated safety and tolerability. We do believe that we will see that when we see Redefine 11 in terms of weight loss with CagriSema. But we also believe that we have that potential for amycretin, which is another version of addressing two biologies. So you mentioned GLP-1 GIP. Semaglutide is GLP-1 plus amylin. And then we have what we call triagonist, which is basically the next level. We do again believe that that is going to be a very competitive offering individually, but specifically as a portfolio.